The speech was just like about how sesame is grown and the different kind of benefits that sesame has, not just for the land but for people as well. It was new to me because I never like really studied sesame before. I just knew it was something that was on my hamburger bun, and so yeah, when I was writing it, it was kind of amazing to me because I started studying it and then I started researching it, and it was really cool the things I found out about sesame and like the benefits that it does have, and how popular that it is becoming throughout the world. Before you go to state, you have to qualify in your district, and in the Southwest District, I got first place in the plant science division. 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. You may remember this McDonald's jingle describing its Big Mac hamburger. It does describe very vividly a Big Mac hamburger, but it also describes several agriculture products. The beef patties and the wheat that make up the buns are major agriculture commodities in Oklahoma. Then you have the ingredients of the special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions. All items which play important roles in the agriculture industry. Do I have them all? How could I forget? Maybe the smallest, least obvious one, the sesame seed. Sesamum indicum is an ancient oil seed, first recorded as a crop in Babylon and Assyria over 4,000 years ago. This crop has since spread from the Fertile Crescent of the ancient Near East to be grown in many parts of the world on over 5 million acres. U.S. commercial production of sesame reportedly began in the 1950s. Acreage in the U.S., primarily in Texas and other southwestern states, has ranged from 10,000 to 20,000 acres in recent years. However, America loves their sesame seed, and the U.S. imports more sesame than we grow. Reports say it would actually take at least 100,000 acres of sesame in the U.S. just to meet domestic demand. Sesame is not a new product for American farmers to consider. In fact, Thomas Jefferson recognized the potential of sesame when he grew it in his test plots. But 200 years later, we have done little to develop this crop in the U.S. My ag teacher told me a story of when he saw, just last year, a local farmer north of Lawton plant a field of unusual crop. In fact, at times, it looked like a field of weeds. Little did he know that it was his first sight of a sesame field. After noticing the sesame field, he came and spoke to our class about sesame and its many uses. The primary market for sesame in the U.S. is in the baked goods industry. Once the seed is dehulled, it is placed on top of buns and breads. Increasingly, the seed is becoming incorporated into crackers, food products, and items such as sesame sticks. The use of hummus containing sesame is spreading into deli counters and grocery stores. Health food stores also sell sesame in bulk. Part of the attraction for using sesame in baking is undoubtedly its high fat, 50% oil, and high protein content, up to 25% protein by weight. Sesame oil carries a premium relative to other cooking oils, and is considered more stable than most vegetable oils due to several antioxidant properties in the oil. After the oil is extracted from the seed, the flour that remains has 50% protein and is high in antioxidants. This remaining meal is a high protein material, suitable for feeding to livestock and pets. Although at this time, sesame oil is used almost exclusively for human food consumption, it has potential for a variety of industrial uses, which include health benefits, such as healing of sunburns, skin diseases, and benefiting the heart and nervous system. Some farmers use sesame for wildlife. In Ohio and Oklahoma, it is planted on ditch banks and along wooded creeks to sustain quail and pheasants. In South Carolina, farmers still plant sesame for dove hunting. As producers look at these tiny seeds as an alternative crop, and consumers look at sesame for its healthful benefits, researchers have found that farmers can benefit from sesame in other ways. Sesame production in the world has been highly labor-intensive and therefore restricted in less developing countries. Now that sesame varieties have been developed that are shatterproof and can be mechanically harvested, sesame has a bright future in the United States as a viable alternative crop. Sesame is a row crop, grown as a rotation crop for cotton, corn, wheat, and peanuts in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Researchers at Texas A&M and Auburn University have found that sesame reduces nematode population, particularly the root knot nematode that attacks peanuts and cotton. In fact, research shows incorporating sesame into peanut and cotton rotations can actually increase yields. All this plus the fact that sesame is drought tolerant and can be planted from May to July. It also works well with minimum and no-till farming, which leads to other soil conservation pluses of sesame, as it is also an excellent soil builder. The roots are numerous, which along with the stalks disc into soil easily and break it down quickly, making the soil very mellow and requiring less work for the next crop, while the tilth and moisture retention is improved. Sesame has indeed been noted for improving moisture conservation in the soil for the next crop. In dry years after sesame, fields of corn and cotton do not show as much stress. Since sesame is drought tolerant, it only requires 1/4 the water for corn, 1/3 the water for sorghum, and 1/2 the water for cotton. Of the sesame grown in the United States, 90% is grown on dry land, while only 10% has supplemental irrigation. In Oklahoma, the Sesame Coordinators, or SESCO, is the company anybody can turn to for everything about sesame, whether it's questions and research or the bulk seed sales and processing. In fact, Hobart, Oklahoma is home to a state-of-the-art processing plant, which has the largest capacity of any sesame processing plant in the world. Sesame can be a boom to local economies, but looking at the big picture, sesame can be a boost to the national economy and world trade. As Asia is the world's largest sesame consumer, nations such as China are moving from the major exporter to the major importer of sesame. There is an opportunity to replace $100 million of U.S. imports with a new $1 billion export market. Perhaps author Edmund Hartman stated it best in the childhood story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, who used the words "open sesame" to open a cave of riches. In a way, it's like the sesame plant pods that pop open to spread their riches to Oklahoma farmers. The opportunities are endless. The benefits to our soil and crops, enormous. And to think, when we look at that next Big Mac, maybe, just maybe, that little white seed on the bun will be more than just a passing thought. Thank you.